Good morning, YouTube. Sorry about missing yesterday's video. Unfortunately, I've been sick. I came down with a 103 fever, and April was busy nursing me.
I was.
But also, April's had an interesting couple of days where she's had a bit of a fever in her, just from stupid car guys. So yeah, take a look at this clip. It's gone viral.
Ponies lined up just before they roll on the block, like this 1980 Trans Am Turbo. You got the screaming chicken breathing fire right into that turbo gauge, which is so cool because you can see how much turbo you are using while you're driving. Now, this one's got...
Bro, what? So that was at the last Barrett-Jackson auction in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, it was, and the Barrett-Jackson social media team sent it over to me on TikTok at first, which is, I don't know, around 4 or 5 million views, and it was interesting because there's all these negative comments, these bad comments, and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh no, what did I do? Like, what did I say? Because I'm sure that I've said stuff incorrect, wrong, perhaps maybe.
Well, so have I. Yeah.
We all have. We've all done it. We all get picked on. But I'm watching it over and over again. I'm like, I really didn't say anything wrong. And the main focus was the text on the top was the screaming chicken, which the...
Right, the guy just says, wait, what? And all he does is take that and then have that brief reaction to it, and he gets millions of views. But he's ignorant because, number one, he's too young to know that the Screaming Chicken was a common nickname for the Trans Am back in the day. And then they had a turbo Trans Am, of course. In 1980, I believe, was the first year because the big block 400 had gone away.
Right.
Well, there's one mistake I've made where they talk about Pontiacs and 400s and stuff. Because in Pontiac speak, there's no big blocks. See, there I am making the same mistake again.
So, but he got so mad because people were calling him out.
But
and remember, you're like, I'm not doing this anymore because
and it's in my head, it's still a big block. So in 1980, they had the very small V8 that they wanted to make it a little bit spicier by adding a turbo to it. But it was carbureted and turbocharged, and it had a very crude computer controlling it to where it got, I think, 210 horsepower. And it didn't work all that well.
It was slow.
It was super unreliable. It wasn't all that fast. But there is one cool thing about it was the turbo gauge on the hood, right where the Screaming Chicken, or the Phoenix, as people want to say, spits right out to this gauge where it's a showing boost, low, medium, high. I think it's just 3 lights. Which, if I were to criticize anything that you had said in that clip, I think you called it how much turbo you're using. Or you could have said it's a boost gauge, how much boost you're using. But in live television, like a word like bumper or headlight, anything, you're doing live TV and you come to the bumper and you want to talk about it, and the word bumper just leaves your head because you're doing live TV. But nothing that you said was wrong at all.
Well, I think the next step when they figured out it was a Screaming Chicken, they're like, oh, that scoop, she's saying there's a gauge in the scoop, and they didn't think that.
They didn't know.
But I'm kind of looking at it, well, you have this off-center scoop. Why is it driver-centric right in front of you? Think about it a little bit. And what's going through my head at that time is like, if I were a man, would all of these comments have happened? Or would people have first trusted a man more, looked it up, found out and learned something, and then not have made a negative comment? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I was a bit dismissive of it at first when she first showed me. I was like, oh, whatever. But then it blew up, and then I started reading some of the comments. I was like, oh my God. Like when I've screwed something up, the guys are, oh, he doesn't know. But it's not as personal as it is with her, where they're just, basically trying to cancel her over this. It calls for her to get fired and things.
Well, we have to show you the comments, of course.
Yeah, so you've highlighted some of the worst of the worst here, right?
So the interesting thing was, obviously there's a ton of people jumping on board with me being incorrect. And what really bothered me is because I do so much research, because...
She does a lot of work beforehand. I get neglected a bit because she's so busy doing prep for Barrett-Jackson. And Scottsdale is going to be a big one coming up. It's, 6 days worth of auction coverage and thousands of cars where... I probably won't even see it.
It's a lot because you have hundreds of different cars and car makers, and each generation, each year, there's something that's changed, and you have to be correct about everything. And I feel like I have a little bit more of a responsibility because I am representing women, and I don't want to perpetuate that women don't know a lot about cars in the car industry. So something like this that happened where I'm like, okay, if I did say something incorrect, like you can dog me about it, but I really didn't. But at this point, it didn't matter what was correct. It's what everyone believed and what they wanted to believe. They wanted to believe that I was an idiot, that I wasn't part of this car culture, car community, when I really do so much research to avoid this as much as possible. Yet it happened anyway, and that's what blows my mind. I gotta actually have some of my books. Let me show you. I have some of them.
Yeah, she takes her work very, very seriously. Yeah, here's your prep. That's for a smaller auction, right?
I'm such a nerd because I don't do it digital. I like to write everything down, but you'll see I have all my tabs of Plymouth, GTX, Daytona, Viper, and they're all in here. There's just tons and tons of these are my notes, and I save them because when something's correct about a car, you never have to worry about it changing. It's always that way. So here, Neelix, steady up.
And I have enough car knowledge when I can pick the cars that I want to do previews on. I don't really have to do that level of prep.
Well, you're a lot smarter than I am.
But when I had to cover for Steve GMYT in New Orleans and had to have something on every single car, I had to prep like that.
Right.
Because I'm not that familiar with muscle cars. Right. And thankfully, Steve is doing a lot better, just to give you an update. We spoke to him on the phone last week, and he is totally fine in the head. His physical recovery, just from being in a hospital bed for so long, he's not sure if he can make Scottsdale in January just to be able to be on his feet for that long, but he's going to be making YouTube videos soon, I am told. But it's great that he's recovering as quickly as he is, and he'll be making YouTube videos soon.
Right.
So it's all good news there. But Scottsdale, I don't know yet if I'm going to be the guy on the block or not, or a hybrid of such, but if I am, I'm going to have to be doing a lot of prep, I suppose, as well.
Well, we all do prep work.
But I'm worried, my version of screwing something up and getting mean comments, but there's no way I would get stuff like this. Just unbelievable.
The comments are very personal, and what I said, why I prep so much is because I feel like I'm trying to represent women the best I can.
Yeah.
And so
this one's why women never succeed in the automotive industry.
Yeah, there's one.
Oh.
That's what happens when you have a woman doing a man's job. She has to be fired now. She's fired. Just a pretty face, knows nothing about cars. As a woman, I'm so upset with her, which these comments kind of bother me a little more because they're girls getting upset with me, and that's the whole point why I do so much research about cars to avoid this.
And she wasn't wrong. It's just people not knowing about this obscure car they did for 2 years, the Turbo Trans Am, and the camera not really contrasting enough in the shot to see that gauge in there.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. So in the video, if you watch, you can see where I pause before I say screaming chicken, because I wasn't anticipating my camera guy to move that far back that quickly, because I wanted to show that boost gauge. And so I kind of jumped ahead to what I was going to say to make sure I mentioned that boost gauge, but it's not
there's
lit
choreography
up.
here too. You want to match what you're saying with the camera, and it's not always perfect. Yeah. Oh, this one, interviewer. Do you know anything about cars? Blonde bimbo? Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wonderful.
Just shut up and do the dishes. And it's like,
it's trolling,
it's funny because it's like, if I'm joking around, I can joke around and say something like that. But when you're saying it out of malice and you're being serious, that's where that line is drawn of like, I don't want to.
Should have fired her on the spot. Yeah. She's been doing this longer than me.
Yes.
But no.
Okay, so this guy was really special. And
this will sound harsh to say, but it drives me nuts to hear any female hosts, whether it's sports or covering a car story, etc. I've yet to come across a good female spokesperson.
Felix is here to comment about this. Sorry, studio cat, if you're new.
So that's terrible.
It's terrible, and what bothered me is he's accusing all females of not being good reporting, whether it's for sports and cars and just across the board. And I didn't personally DM anyone because, I didn't really care. What did bother me sometimes is people would call you into the comments and say, "Who have you come get your girl?"
Yeah, there have been some high-profile people that have defended her.
Right.
Gas Monkey, for instance, they shared the clip, but then said she's not wrong. Basically she's right. And then the restorer muscle car, who's actually selling the car that consigned it, sold it at Barrick Jackson, said that she's right and shared the clip. But then there have been a lot of people sharing the clip as well, just to get on the bandwagon for clout and followers and stuff. It's like a meme that's taking off, and they're just sharing it just because to get clicks and views.
So this
guy,
special guy, who doesn't like any female hosts. I don't know if you're gonna be mad at me, but I actually sent him a DM just because I was upset that he said that about all females. And I feel like that's incorrect, that's wrong.
So
I mean, like you have
this is
Erin
Instagram?
Andrews, Carissa Thompson, Pam Miller. Like, do you think we really don't know what we're talking about when we're on live TV? We wouldn't get hired if we didn't.
So this is on Instagram, right?
So this is on Instagram, yeah.
So you're able to look and see how stupid he is before you DM him, right?
So this is the guy that...
Oh, no.
This is his picture.
Oh.
There's a couple...
Oh, no, not that I'm... Yeah.
Pictures of him.
I'm not one to talk, but I don't know why you'd wear skinny pants when you skip leg day all the time.
So, you know, this guy, he's really upset. He doesn't... Apparently, I feel like he just doesn't like females. And his comment really bothered me.
Yeah?
Because he's encapsulating all of the female population. And so I had to DM him. I had to say something.
Right, they're buying his pants.
I probably have the same pants.
Yeah, it's an issue of these women buying the pants that he likes, and so he hates women.
So my message...
So you sent him a DM.
I sent him a DM.
I'm sorry you don't like hosts without penises. Is there something different I should have said? Why did you do this? But then he said I'll remove my comment. Where can I find it on your page?
Right, but here's the thing. About 10 minutes had passed when he said that.
Oh.
I didn't respond. He got so triggered within 10 minutes so fast that Tyler, he's broken inside, and I don't need to judge him like he judged me because he really has some demons going on. For him to unload like he did.
Because you didn't respond to him quickly enough.
Exactly.
The truth hurts. Here's my take. You looked and sounded goofy. No one will ever take you serious. People probably act like they feel bad for you, but it's their way, and then there's tons of misspelling in here. It's the way you came off, no research. I don't like women that over-edit their photos and using the wrong version of their. Like this is about 5th grade level, maybe below.
I would do
like
that too.
my 10-year-old would write better than this. No research. I don't like women that over-edit their photos. You have wide hips, like a table stop, editing your pics that are overdone, not natural beauty. This is really hard to read because, and probably effed your way to the top. So when I see an overly done up girl talk about stuff, he's cussing here, she knows nothing about, yes, it's troubling. You remind me of those loud, once again misspelled, loud obnoxious girls, which she's not loud or obnoxious at all, that hangs around. It's such bad English that hangs around depressed girlfriend that is a Karen. Straight up, I'm sorry, but you look like a F girl. Really? Probably why you are single, but if you have a man, he's probably 62. All right. Oh, and no kids. Probably can't have any because you are too much into yourself. I'm a third party, and this is what I see. Truth hurts.
Oh my
what
gosh.
an idiot.
So I didn't respond to this just because, I mean, I was
laughing.
laughing.
Keeps going?
So he sends a voice memo.
Seriously?
Yeah,
He couldn't stop at that? He had to keep going?
Yeah.
Let's hear this man's voice. Maybe he sounds smarter than he writes.
You get upset with my comment, but it's the way that you came about. And I wasn't just the one that was busting your chops about it. It was myself and multiple people. You got to do your education up front before you speak. And yes, in my opinion, it bothers me when you see a girl that's pretty, overdone photos, over-editing of photos.
So mad about that.
Probably got her position because she fucked someone, goes to clubs with hanging out with her fucking girlfriends, acting like a fucking dyke fest, but any guys that give you attention, you shoot them down. I know you're fucking kind. You're a butterface. Face, no body. Over-edited hips, you're insecure, probably have a 60-year-old boyfriend, no kids, can't have kids. I have no idea. But listen, this is third party looking in. The truth hurts. And to me, yeah, it's embarrassing. I would probably find a different profession and stop talking about cars. Pick something else.
Okay.
And there's a guy who knows nothing about turbo Trans Ams. And obviously has had issues with women who, rightfully so, reject him instantly at the club.
Right.
Because of those pants. And because of his personality, obviously, which he obviously has some sort of personality defect.
I don't...
And based on how he writes, not that educated. an idiot.
I don't want to judge him because that's what he did to me.
Oh, I'm judging
And he's trying to hurt me. And I want to say that maybe he's troubled and he's gotten his heart broken a lot. And that's all I have to
Well,
say.
I have too, but I'm still, I wouldn't act like that. That's insane.
He needs a therapist.
That is, yeah, this is a crazy person. Okay.
So he's really, really upset with me. And there's nothing I can do about it because I don't know what I'm supposed to say differently. So that's it.
You don't need to feel bad. He's an idiot. But it has been a fascinating look into, well, toxic male sort of culture when it comes to cars, which is, I guess, still really a thing.
Right, and I didn't know it would be this bad. I didn't know we're in 2023. I didn't know I was going to get attacked this viciously and cruelly. But again, thanks for the guys that have stuck up for me. I know Chris Jacobs made a comment. Gas Monkey did. My girl AJ from Overhaulin made a few posts. And of course, Rick DeBrule stepping in with some comments. So thank you, everyone that defended me. I appreciate it.
I did too.
You did you?
Yeah.
You do care?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really
Thank you so much for watching.